capitalization and everyday punctuation. In this chapter, we will fix small habits in your writing. Don't worry if some words in this lesson are new to you. We will explain every word before we use it. By the end of this chapter, you will be able to start your sentences correctly and use the most common punctuation marks without stopping to think. Before we begin, let's make sure we understand a few basic words. This will make the rest of the lesson much easier to follow. First, what is a letter? A letter is one single character, like A, B, or C. English has 26 letters in total. The word cat has 3 letters, C, A, and T. Every letter has 2 forms. A small form, called lowercase, and a big form, called uppercase, or a capital letter. They look different, but they are the same letter. Look at the letter A. Lowercase A looks like this, A. Uppercase A. The capital letter looks like this, A. Here is the same word, written 2 ways. Maria, with a small m, and Maria, with a big M. The second one starts with a capital letter. Which one of these is a capital letter? The correct answer is B. Now, what is a word? A word is one or more letters put together that has a meaning. Cat is a word. Run is a word. Beautiful is a word. Cat, run, and beautiful are all words. C, alone, is just a letter, not a word. Now, what is a sentence? A sentence is a group of words that expresses one complete thought or idea. It usually tells us who or what did something, or describes something. The dog is sleeping is a sentence. It has a complete thought. We know who, the dog, and what is sleeping. Compare that to just the word dog, by itself. Dog alone is not a sentence, because it does not tell us a complete thought. What about the dog? We don't know yet. What do we call a group of words that expresses one complete thought? The answer is a sentence. Last, what is punctuation? Punctuation is the small marks we use in writing, like the period, the comma, and the question mark. These marks help the reader understand where a sentence stops, or what kind of sentence it is. Look at this small dot at the end of a sentence. This mark is called a period. It tells the reader, this sentence is finished. Punctuation marks, like the period and the comma, help the reader understand a sentence better. That's true. Punctuation marks show the reader where ideas start, stop, or connect, which makes writing easier to understand. Good. Now that we know what a letter, a word, a sentence, and punctuation are, we can begin the real lesson. Let's start with capitalization. Capitalization means choosing when to use a big letter, a capital letter, instead of a small letter. English has rules for exactly when to do this. The first and most important rule is about the beginning of a sentence. Rule 1. Every single sentence must begin with a capital letter. This means the very first letter of the very first word of every sentence is always big. Let's look closely at one sentence. The teacher walked into the room. Notice the word the at the very start. It starts with a big T, not a small t. Here is another one. She opened her book and began to read. Again, notice the first word, she, starts with a big S. This rule is true no matter what kind of sentence it is. A sentence that makes a statement, a sentence that asks a question, or a sentence that shows excitement. All of them start with a capital letter. Let's look at two sentences together. Are you coming with us? Starts with a big A. Yes, I am ready. The next sentence also starts with a big letter, Y. Which sentence starts with a capital letter correctly? The correct answer is the bus arrived late. Let's move to Rule 2. This rule is about names. First, we need to understand one more word, noun. A noun is a word for a person, a place, or a thing. Teacher is a noun. City is a noun. Book is a noun. Teacher, city, and book are all nouns, because they each name a person, a place, or a thing. Now, there are two kinds of nouns. A common noun names any person, place, or thing in general, like teacher, or city. A proper noun names one specific, particular person, place, or thing, and it always starts with a capital letter. Teacher is a common noun, it could be any teacher. But Maria is a proper noun, it is one specific person, so it needs a capital letter. City is a common noun. Quezon City is a proper noun, one specific city, so both words are capitalized. So the rule is simple. Proper nouns, specific names of people, places, and things, are always capitalized. Let's put this in a full sentence. Maria lives in Quezon City. Both Maria and Quezon City are proper nouns, so both are capitalized. One more example. My cousin studied in London for 2 years. London is a specific place, a proper noun, so it is capitalized. Nationalities and languages are proper nouns too, because they come from the name of a specific country. This is one of the most common mistakes for Filipino learners of English, because in Tagalog these words are not capitalized. In English, they always are. Let's slow down on this one. Filipino, Japanese, and Spanish are all proper nouns, because they come from the country names, Philippines, Japan, and Spain. So we always write them with a capital letter. Now in a full sentence. She is Filipino, but she also speaks Japanese and Spanish fluently. He is Korean, and he is currently learning Tagalog. He is Korean, and he is currently learning Tagalog. The same rule applies to the names of days, months, and holidays. These come from a specific name too, so they are also proper nouns, and are always capitalized, even in the middle of a sentence. We will meet next Monday, which is the 5th of October. Notice Monday and October, both capitalized, even though they are in the middle of the sentence. The office is closed every Christmas and every New Year. The seasons, like summer and winter, are always capitalized, just like months. That's false. Seasons are common nouns, not proper nouns, so they stay lowercase unless they start a sentence. Brand names follow the same rule. A brand name is the specific name of one company or one product, so it is a proper noun too. He bought a new pair of Nike shoes and a Samsung phone. Nike and Samsung are specific brand names, so both are capitalized. Now, Rule 3. This rule is about titles, words like doctor or engineer, when they come right before someone's name. A title is a word that shows someone's job or role, like doctor, or someone's respect, like Mr. When a title comes directly before a specific person's name, it is capitalized too. Let's look closely. Dr. Santos will see you now. Here, doctor comes right before the name Santos, so it is capitalized, and often shortened to Dr. We submitted the contract to Attorney Reyes and Engineer Cruz. ATY is short for attorney, and ENGA is short for engineer. Both come before a name, so both are capitalized. Here's the important part. The title is only capitalized when it comes directly before a specific name. When the same word is used on its own, without a name, it stays lowercase. Let's compare two sentences. My doctor said I should rest. Here doctor has no name after it, so it stays lowercase. Dr. Santos said I should rest. Here doctor comes before the name Santos, so it is capitalized. Which sentence uses the title correctly? The correct answer is I visited the doctor yesterday. Rule 4 is short and simple, but very important. First, what is a pronoun? A pronoun is a small word that takes the place of a name, like he, she, or I. The word I, meaning yourself, the speaker, is always capitalized in English, no matter where it appears in the sentence. Let's look closely. I think I left my umbrella at home, so I will get wet. Notice the word I appears 3 times, and every single time, it is a big capital I. What is the only single-letter word in English that is always capitalized? The answer is the pronoun I. Rule 5 is about titles of books, movies, and songs. When we write the title of a book, a movie, or a song, we capitalize the main, important words. Small connecting words, like a, an, the, of, and in, usually stay lowercase, unless they are the very first or last word of the title. This pattern is called title case. Have you seen the movie, The Lord of the Rings? Notice Lord and Rings are capitalized, the main words. The small word of stays lowercase, in the middle. She is reading a book called Pride and Prejudice. Pride and Prejudice are the main words, both capitalized. And, a small connecting word, stays lowercase. Which title is capitalized correctly using title case? The correct answer is A Tale of Two Cities. Now, 2 very common mistakes. Let's slow down and look at each one carefully, because Filipino learners of English make these 2 mistakes most often. Mistake 1 is over-capitalizing. This means using a capital letter on a common noun, a word that is not a specific name, when it should stay lowercase. Look at these two versions. The wrong version says, "My teacher told us to go to the school," with teacher and school both capitalized, but they should not be, because they are common nouns, not specific names. The correct version keeps them lowercase. The word manager should be capitalized in the sentence, "My manager approved the request." That's false. Manager is a common noun here, not a title directly before a specific name, so it stays lowercase. Mistake 2 is the opposite problem. Forgetting to capitalize nationalities and languages, since in Tagalog, these words stay lowercase. But remember, in English, they are always capitalized. She is fluent in English and French. The correct sentence is, she is fluent in English and French. Put these 5 capitalization rules in the order we learned them. In the correct order, every sentence starts with a capital letter. Then, proper nouns are always capitalized. Then, titles before names are capitalized. Then, the pronoun I is always capitalized. Then, book, movie, and song titles use title case. Now that capitalization makes sense, let's move to punctuation, the small marks that help a reader understand your sentences. Let's start with the period. The period is a small dot. We place it at the very end of a sentence that makes a statement, to tell the reader, this sentence is complete. The meeting starts at 9 a.m. sharp. Notice the small dot at the very end. That dot is the period. The period has a second job too. We also use it after most abbreviations, which are short forms of longer words, like Mr. for Mr. Mr. de la Cruz submitted the report on time. Notice Mr. is shortened to Mr., followed by a period. Next, the question mark. This mark replaces the period at the end of a sentence that asks a direct question. What time does the store close? Notice this sentence is a question, so it ends with a question mark, not a period. An indirect question, like she asked what time it was, still needs a question mark at the end. That's false. Indirect questions are written as statements, so they end with a period, not a question mark. Next, the exclamation point. This mark shows strong feeling or emphasis, like surprise, excitement, or warning. But be careful, in formal writing, like emails at work, using it too often can look unprofessional. Watch out, the floor is wet. This sentence shows a warning, so it ends with an exclamation point. Let's slow down on this next part, because it's an easy mistake to make. In a formal email or report at work, an exclamation point can sound too emotional or unprofessional. A period usually sounds calmer and more professional. Compare these two. Please review the attached file, with an exclamation point, sounds too excited for a work email. The same sentence with a period sounds calm and professional. Which sentence is best for a formal business email? The correct answer is please send the report now. Now, the comma. This mark does several different jobs, so we will go through them slowly, one at a time. Comma job number 1. We use a comma to separate items in a list when there are 3 or more items. I bought bread, milk, eggs, and butter. Notice the comma after each item in the list, separating them from each other. You may notice a comma right before the word and, at the end of the list. This is called the Oxford comma. Some writers use it, some don't. Either way is acceptable, as long as you are consistent. The Oxford comma is required in every style of English writing. That's false. Some styles use it and some don't. What matters most is staying consistent within the same piece of writing. Comma job number 2. We use a comma to join 2 complete sentences together, when we connect them with and, but, or. I wanted to go to the party, but I had too much work. Notice the comma comes right before but, connecting 2 complete sentences. She called the office, and someone finally answered. Again, a comma before and, joining 2 complete ideas. Here's an important check. This comma only belongs there if both sides of the sentence could stand alone, as their own complete sentence. If the second part is not a full sentence by itself, we don't need the comma. Look at this sentence. She called the office and finally got an answer. Here, there is no comma, because finally got an answer is not a complete sentence by itself, it needs she at the front. I wanted to leave early but my boss asked me to stay. The correct sentence is, I wanted to leave early, but my boss asked me to stay. Comma job number 3. We use a comma after an introductory phrase, a short group of words at the beginning of a sentence that comes before the main idea. After the meeting ended, everyone went straight home. Notice after the meeting ended is the introductory phrase, and the comma comes right after it. Honestly, I did not expect that answer. Honestly is a short introductory word, followed by a comma. Once you finish the form, please submit it at the front desk. Once you finish the form, please submit it at the front desk. Comma job number 4, the last one. We use commas to separate the different parts of an address or a date. She was born on March 15, 1995, in Cebu City, Philippines. Notice a comma between the day and the year, and another comma between the city and the country. Send the package to 123 Main Street, Quezon City, Philippines. Again, commas separate each part of the address. Which sentence uses commas correctly for a date? The correct answer is he was born on June 3, 1998. Match each punctuation mark to its main job. Here are the matches. Period goes with ends a statement. Question mark goes with ends a direct question. Exclamation point goes with shows strong feeling. Comma goes with separates items or joins ideas. Let's review the 4 punctuation marks we covered, and when to use each one, before we move on. My sister lives in Manila and my brother lives in Davao. The correct sentence is, my sister lives in Manila, and my brother lives in Davao. Should you capitalize the word summer in the sentence, I love the summer heat? No, seasons are common nouns, so they are not capitalized, unless they begin the sentence. Let's slow down one more time and put everything together, in a longer passage. Read each part carefully before moving to the next. Dr. Reyes moved to Manila last April. She now works with Engineer Santos every Monday and Wednesday. Let's check each capital letter. Doctor is before a name, so it's capitalized as Dr. Manila is a proper noun. April, Monday, and Wednesday are all proper nouns too. I speak Filipino and English, but I am still learning Japanese. Every I is capitalized, and every language name is capitalized too. Which version of this passage is fully correct? The correct answer is Dr. Reyes moved to Manila last April. Proper nouns, titles before names, the pronoun I, and the first word of every sentence are all always capitalized in English. That's true. These 4 rules are consistent and do not change based on context. Before we finish, let's do an extra practice round to lock in everything from this chapter. Take your time with each question. Let's drill proper nouns one more time, since this is the rule most learners forget under pressure. Which sentence capitalizes the country name correctly? The correct answer is she moved to Canada last year. My family visited Japan and South Korea last summer. The correct sentence is, my family visited Japan and South Korea last summer. He was born in the Philippines but grew up in Australia. He was born in the Philippines but grew up in Australia. Let's drill titles before names again, since the on its own versus before a name distinction trips people up. In the sentence, please call the engineer for an estimate, the word engineer should be capitalized. That's false. Engineer is used generically here, not directly before a specific name, so it stays lowercase. Which sentence uses the title correctly? The correct answer is I spoke with Enga Torres this morning. Let's drill the comma rules one more time, since commas cause the most everyday writing mistakes. For breakfast, she had eggs, toast, and coffee. The store was closing but we managed to get inside. The correct sentence is, the store was closing, but we managed to get inside. Which sentence correctly punctuates an introductory phrase? The correct answer is before we begin, let's review the agenda. After the storm passed, the streets were finally clear. After the storm passed, the streets were finally clear. Match each comma job to an example sentence type. Here are the matches. Job 1 goes with separating items in a list. Job 2 goes with joining two full sentences. Job 3 goes with setting off an introductory phrase. Job 4 goes with separating parts of an address or date. Let's try one more round mixing capitalization and punctuation together, the way it appears in real writing. Dr. Lim moved to Baguio City on January 3, 2020. The correct sentence is, Dr. Lim moved to Baguio City on January 3, 2020. Which version is fully correct? The correct answer is my sister, Atty Cruz, works in Cebu City every Monday. Put these editing steps in the order you should check them when proofreading a sentence. In the correct order, check the first letter is capitalized. Then, check proper nouns are capitalized. Then, check the pronoun I is capitalized. Then, check commas are placed correctly. Then, check the sentence ends with the right mark. Let's apply everything to a real-world context, a short business email. Business emails are one of the most common places these rules actually matter, since a poorly capitalized or punctuated email can look unprofessional. Here's a wrong version of an email opening. Everything is lowercase and the punctuation is missing. Here's the corrected version, with proper capitalization and punctuation throughout. Which greeting line is correctly capitalized and punctuated for a professional email? The correct answer is Hi team, I hope everyone is well. The deadline is Friday, March 15. Please submit your report by then. The correct sentence is, the deadline is Friday, March 15. Please submit your report by then. Using an exclamation point after every sentence in a business email makes it sound more enthusiastic and professional. That's false. Overusing exclamation points in formal writing tends to read as unprofessional rather than enthusiastic. One more thing worth knowing. An acronym is a short word made from the first letters of several words. Acronyms, like USA or FBI, are written in all capitals, since each letter stands for a full word. She works for the FBI, and she used to live in the USA before moving here. Both FBI and USA are acronyms, so both are fully capitalized. Which sentence capitalizes the acronym correctly? The correct answer is she works at the UN headquarters. Great work! You have completed Chapter 1. You now know what a letter, a word, a sentence, and punctuation are, and you know the 5 main capitalization rules. Next, we move on to apostrophes, quotation marks, and advanced punctuation.